gentlemen, welcome back to the Mixtape Show. We are live on the air. We are live on the airways of kksjkawonjradio. Appreciate everybody tapped in tonight, man. If you're up there in the East Coast, if you're up there in the South, stay safe, man. I hear the weather's crazy up there. I know here in Dallas, we're about to have a freeze here in the next 2 days. So everybody get your groceries, hunker in, listen to the Mixtape Show. You know what I'm saying? We're kicking off the show, man. We got a dope one for you guys planned tonight. We kicked it off a little early. We are actually going to be in the middle of recording our Mixtape Show Interviews with Legends podcast live here on air. So salute to everybody who's tuned in for that. And we're going to make this interactive. We got some questions for some of the listeners that we're going to have at the end of this interview. And checking in, man, we played that joint at the beginning of the show. Snow Goons featuring A Mafia. Our guest tonight, Billy Danze, Aspects, God Bless, and DJ Trey. That was called We Up. And we're going to get into some more of the catalog, too, from the brother, man. And we're going to definitely chop it up here with the legend. He goes by the name of Billy Danze of the mighty M.O.P. What's good, man? How are you? Welcome back to the Mixtape Show, man.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it, man. You know, I'm still out here grinding, getting it going, man.
I hear that, man. And last time you was here with us, man, you sat down with us and was very gracious with your time then. And we did the listening sessions of the project that you dropped, the six-pack joint. And
nice, yeah.
a lot of our listeners at the time may have not been aware that Billy Danze was out there active like that, so they definitely appreciated that. And ever since then, man, you be still kicking ass, you know what I'm saying, being on features, dropping solos, joints, and you got some new work too, man. So how have you been personally, man? How's everything been going for you overall?
Good, man. Just, you know, dodging the whole madness that we got to deal with, you know, still working, still, you know, maintaining family, and maintaining sanity, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, as best as we can, right?
Yeah, that's right, bro. So I'm like everybody else in this situation, man. I'm just, you know, just trying to keep afloat, bro. Yeah, and we're winning. We're all winning.
Definitely, man. We up. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. We up.
And as a side note too, man, I was in New York last summer, I think it was, and you guys did a special thing out in Brooklyn. A nice little show out there in Coney Island, I believe it was. You had a nice little set, and I came in on the very end of the M.O.P. performance. So I was a little agitated because I was previously to that I was out in Bushwick at a show doing some work. So I just missed you guys performing, man, because I know you can never miss an M.O.P. live show. You know what I'm saying? That's like that's unheard of. You got to be there when you guys perform. So I was a little agitated for that, man.
Well, listen, brother, don't hold it against yourself, man. It's gonna be all right. There'll be many more M.O.P. performances, man, and make sure you come through, bro. You know you're always welcome.
Definitely, man. So I want to use this space, man, to not only get into what you got going on now, but I use the Legends podcast interviews to kind of go over a little bit of the history, man, because some of us may or may not be familiar with the enormity of your contribution to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Some people may just know Annie Up, you know what I'm saying, but they may not know the other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that's right.
I consider M.O.P. as one of the biggest hip hop rock live show acts ever. You know what I'm saying? I put you guys up there with the Onyx and Wu-Tang and Naughty by Nature, Busta Rhymes. You know, nice. My favorite live shows all time. It's not just a hip hop show, it's just the energy and the performances and stuff like that. Some people may not be familiar with, you know, the Warriors album when that dropped, the enormity of that project, or even the one before that. You know what I'm saying? So let's do this, man. Let's start the beginning for Billy Danze. When you were growing up, you know what I'm saying, growing up in Brooklyn and stuff, what was your soundtrack? What did you listen to, and what did you remember hearing in your household kind of coming up?
Well, in the household it was different because, you know, we're in the house with our parents, so they're playing what we really love, right? The music that had passion, the OJs, Temptations, Manhattans, all of that good stuff. You know, Frankie Beverly and Maze and all of that good stuff. But you know, when you start going outside, you hear what's going on outside, right? So Rakim, KRS-One, with the whole BDP, right? Juice Crew. You know what I'm saying? Like everything from that era, from the 80s. And that's the thing about when I was coming up as a kid, like the music that we had, it wasn't like 30 artists sounding the same way. We had about 10 artists that were amazing. You know what I'm saying? 10 that was amazing, and they kept the party rocking. Yeah. Because they all had different sounding songs, different feeling songs, you know what I'm saying? So that I mean, people say that the 90s was golden era. Yeah, for the artists, it was the golden era. But for the fans, I gotta say it was like before that. Yeah. It was the 80s. You know what I'm saying?
The foundation, right? You had the foundation for the 90s where we had Slick Rick,
that's right.
Dana Dane.
Oh my
you know
God.
What I'm saying? Dougie Fresh, Juice Crew. You know what I'm saying? The Juice Crew, the Boogie Down Productions. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah. Those were, everything was hot, bro.
Yeah. And
like, do you realize that? Like, all the artists were actually dope.
Man, me and my partners, because I came up, I tell people my music maturity of hip hop was early 90s, you know what I'm saying, around that period when it really hit me, where I was, and Naughty by Nature was my first one where I was like, oh, I like what they did with that Michael Jackson joint, you know what I'm saying. That's when it started kind of clicking for me. And me and my partner laugh all the time because we say even the people who we may not consider the hottest artists in the 90s, those are the type of artists that today, you know what I'm saying, they can hold it down because they stayed with the essence of it. They just were in an era where everybody was King Griffey Jr., everybody was Barry Bonds. You know what I'm saying?
You had all of these Michael Jordans, all of these Jordans.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
But it was the balance. It was the balance that we needed though back then. You know what I'm saying? You had the artists who had the commercial hits, and you had the artists who went strictly underground. But it was that balance. But everybody respected everybody back then. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You know, Raucous Records may have an artist who was considered mainstream on their projects back then because they had that respect. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
or M.O.P. would be on a DJ Clue mixtape. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So definitely, man, it's amazing, man. I wish that, I really do wish a lot of the kids today would study that era, man, of that, just that it was like being on cloud nine back then for me as a fan, because I've always been a fan of the music and I've always been a fan of the culture. So living in that period was just incredible, watching, you know, yourself and Fame doing y'all's thing and Teflon and like I said, then Boot Camp Click comes out and they kill shit and like I said, Woo Tribe. It was crazy.
You know, it was the music. The music was good, bro. Right? We were about the music. Nowadays, the kids aren't about the music. It's not about the music with them. And I don't take it from them. I'm really just glad that my people, whether I know them or not, younger or not, like, I'm glad that they're figuring out a way to take care of themselves and their family financially. But when it comes to the music, like, I want to hear good music. Like, I'm your fan because you're my brother and I never even met you. I want you to win.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your music, if I you know, if it's not working, if it's not amazing, I want to hear amazing music.
Yeah.
That's it. I want music to make me feel the way I felt in the 80s. Or through the 90s, or even before that, before I even come out the house, when I'm listening to what my parents are listening to, even though it's not from my time, but you can feel the passion in the music. I want music to make me feel like that.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm always a fan, because there's records that come out now from these younger artists that I don't even know.
Yeah.
If I'm strolling through something and I see this album's dropping tomorrow, I'll find it, buy it. I'll probably never listen to it, but I'll find it, buy it. That's my contribution to my younger brothers across this country and across this world. My contribution to help them get out of the situations that we've all pretty much been in and come out of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when did Billy Danze start picking up? When did you realize that you wanted to pick up the pen and start writing and everything like that?
This is something way before I even got a deal. But I never focused on the deal because, remember, you know, you from my era, bro. You know, the artists we listened to that we were fans of, they were like superheroes. So there's no way, like, you can pick up your pen and write and everything, but there's no way you're gonna be Big Daddy Kane. There's no way you're gonna be KRS-One. There's no way they're gonna know you. There's no way you're gonna fit in their space.
Yeah.
So I've been writing for, you know, even before then, even before Kane and all of them came out, like, I've been writing, you know what I'm saying? But it was nothing that I took, like, you know, this is something I'm going to do as a career. I didn't think about that at all. So it was many, many years ago, brother.
Yeah.
Many years. I picked up that pen, man.
And when you started thinking career-wise, was that thought of, I want to be a signed artist, or is just, I just want to make the music?
You know, career wise, I really didn't have a thought about it as far as career until I was actually all the way in it. Like I was already in it. I already had one of the biggest records in the country. And it just seemed like it was something different that we were doing other than what we were doing prior to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I was like, it seemed a little more safer, and you know, I could be places I haven't been because so in New York, like you got to understand about the way New York is sectioned out. Like Queens, you got Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, whatever. Most of the time, the kids from these neighborhoods don't go anywhere else, right? So when you get into the business and you start moving around, even if you just move it around the city, right? It's like, man, I'm actually doing something different. You know what I mean? So that was actually a cool part for me. And like I said, I was already in already. I already had one of the biggest records in the country, and then then I started realizing, this is something different. Maybe we should keep doing this because seems a little more safer, right? Nobody's going to jail. Nobody's getting. So I'm like, let's just do that. So and I'm grateful, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
very
funny.
Grateful.
That's funny you say that about moving around because I grew up in Far Rock in Queens, and so my wife makes fun of me all the time when she's from California. So whenever we go visit family and stuff, and we move around the city. She'll ask me, well, hey, you been here before as a kid? And I was like, nah, I literally stayed in Queens my whole life. Like, I just, what I'm saying? I stayed in Queens, and the only time I would go out of Queens is on Sundays to go to church with my parents in Brooklyn, and that was it.
Dude, as a kid, I went to Far Rockaway twice. Once to go crabbing with my uncle, and the next time I got into some trouble. My brother was living out there, and I had to go out there.
Yeah.
And this beach looked, and the beach looked like I was somewhere in Jamaica somewhere, like somewhere exotic or something, because we don't get to see that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know how I go, bro.
Crabbing was definitely a thing. I used to love that every year too.
That's right.
No, man. So when you guys started and everything, did you and Fame were you guys like childhood partners or anything like that, or how did you guys actually initially meet when you guys met?
That's funny, bro. I just did another interview 2 days ago, and they asked the same question. How did we meet? We don't know where we met, how we met, when it actually was. We just don't know. It's we just kind of fell together. Yeah. So, like, if you ever speak to Fame, you ask him, yo, did y'all meet at the park? Yeah. Did y'all meet at the store? Did y'all meet in school? Yeah. He don't know either. Neither one of us knows. So we go so far back to where it's almost like it just was like, it just happened. Like, you can't, when your reality happened, he's a part of my reality. So there was times where I would actually come home and my mother had this huge green couch in the living room, man. Had to be like the most comfortable couch on the planet, bro. Yeah. And I would come home, and regardless to what time it was, I'll be ready to go get on that couch. If Fame is sleeping on that couch, I can't wake him up. She won't let me wake him up. She's like, dude, go over there somewhere. Go in there somewhere. You better not wake him up. Go over there somewhere. So we got that kind of relationship to where, we just kind of landed together. And it's something that was supposed to be, obviously. And that's kind of, when I listen to people talk about the way it comes across in the music, that's not, like, none of it's never really planned. Yeah. Like, even our shows, like you spoke about our live shows, like, we never done a rehearsal. Like, literally never done a rehearsal. Yeah. Wow. It would just feed off each other's energy when we're on the stage.
Wow. So that was going to be one of the questions down the line, is when you do a live show, you just answered that. So it's just Fame and Billy on stage is doing what they do.
That's right. We literally feed off each other's energy. I was telling somebody how, there's a start when you start anything, music career, anything else, there's a start, and there's that beginning stage of it. So when we get on the stage, I literally been on the stage in front of 8 people. Then at 8 people, so that's nervous too, right? You'd be real nervous there, because that's the beginning. I got on the stage in front of 8 people, 80 people, 800 people, 8,000 people, and 80,000 people. And I always use the energy that I can get from Fame to go. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of seems like we just feed off each other. So it's just the magic, bro.
Yeah. You guys have that Wonder Twin power.
There you go. That's it.
And when you guys when the Annie Up and all those joints came out and you're doing those big shows, take me to the time when you guys went overseas for the first time that you can remember. And like in Japan, and they're going verse for verse for you, bar for bar, with and that they don't even speak a lick of English, but they know your joints. What's that feeling like?
Nuts, because it's like, again, that's like, and toward the beginning of our career, and we didn't go to Japan. It was a world tour, but I stopped at half because we came home to chill, and then we were out with Gangstar and Prem like, come on, we got to go to Japan. Dude, I literally took the car, got in the car, went to the airport, and told him I couldn't go to Japan. I just couldn't see myself taking that long of a flight. So I didn't make it to Japan that time. But the very first time we went, first leg of the tour, I don't know what country we hit, but I remember being in Berlin, Germany, across the street from the wall, right? The Berlin Wall. That's where my hotel was. And I went and got because they're selling like pieces of the wall. So I went and got a few pieces of the wall for the kids and everything. And we got on the stage that night. And I don't want to sound crazy here, but it seemed like to me, and I was drinking a lot of liquor too at that point. So, but it looks like to me like everybody looked the same, right? Yeah. I would be on one side of the stage doing that regular M.O.P. thing, right? And people are going nuts on this side of the stage. Yeah. Singing word for word, but don't really speak English. And I would, because I don't stand, I don't stand still on the stage. So now I'm on the other side of the stage, and it looks like what seemed to have been the same person from over there. And that was just me in a fog, like, oh my God, like they're fans and they're yelling and screaming. And inside my head, I'm yelling and screaming too, like, holy shit. Like that was, I want to say 96, 97, something like that. Maybe
probably a little bit before that.
Like 90, maybe before that, because I remember doing a huge tour in 98 where we went around the country, which was crazy. It was a Smoke and Groove tour with Cypress, and who else was out there? Wyclef, Destiny's Child was out there, Black Eyed Peas, Gangstar, what's the other? My man Cannabis was out there. Dude was coming out on the stage with a 750-pound lion named Simba,
I remember that. Yeah,
that was so nuts, yo. I still see it today. I remember doing Red Rocks in Colorado, and they came out with the lion name was Simba. And they got these, Red Rocks Theater
in Colorado. Yeah.
The lion was walking along the rocks, bro. It looked like the most amazing, magical shit I've ever seen in my life. Of course, I hurried up and got out of there because every time they got on the stage, I left. Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I'm drunk, but I'm not stupid. Y'all realize it's a lion.
A lion's gonna line at some point in life, right?
Exactly. But yeah, man. It was all magical for me, man. Every time I got on that stage, from the first time to when I did a show in New Jersey, it was nuts. Fame just sent me a whole schedule, upcoming schedule for a tour, and I'm like, about to be back at it. You know what I'm saying? So whatever little ends I need to tie up, I need to get those tied up so we can get right back to it.
Dope. And you mentioned too something for the listeners out there, because I'm a history buff, and when you brought that up, it jogged my memory. Back in the day, for those who may not be familiar, in Germany, there was a wall, the Berlin Wall. It separated East and West Germany at one point.
That's right.
They were under two different kind of rulerships, kind of like a dictatorship type situation. And basically the citizens got tired of that, you know what I'm saying? And they tore down that wall, and that was like a really big monumental moment in history out there, because that's basically like the United States being separated by Texas. You know what I'm saying? And then you know what I'm saying, and then all of a sudden the citizens get tired of the shit, and they break down the wall and tear down the wall, and they basically, it was a coup basically. They tore down the government, you know what I'm saying, and started democracy. So that was a huge thing back in the day. And the fact that you said that you went to go purchase a piece of that wall, to me as a history buff, I love hearing that type of stuff, because that's stuff that people don't talk about that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying, with the history and stuff like that.
So the Berlin Wall.
The Berlin Wall.
That's crazy. Right?
Yeah, that's similar to what the like Great Wall of China would be, or something similar to that, where it was like a big. Yeah. You know, it's like our borders to Mexico kind of thing just gets torn down, and they're just like, we're not doing this no more. So definitely, man, dope, bro.
Like a wall separating the country is crazy.
It's crazy, yeah. Little history lesson for my youngins out there who don't get that in school.
That's right.
Yeah, man. So you and Fame, man, M.O.P. as a unit, and even with Teflon, man. The thing I appreciate the most as a hip hop fan is when you see, you know, like you said, your hip hop superheroes. I know there's ups and downs and there's quarrels and there's disagreements and stuff, but the fact that you guys throughout the years still maintain that united front as M.O.P. has always been so dope to me, man, because it's real tough for me now as an adult. I got to stop being a fan sometimes and recognize the reality of the industry and the business, where we don't have the P Rocks and CL Smooth still kicking it as much anymore. We don't have, you know what I'm saying? Or even back in the day when Prodigy and Havoc was going through it with each other for a while. That hurt me as a fan, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that you guys still have a united front, you guys still go on the road, and you guys still make music together, it's just super dope. How do you guys maintain that, man? What's the common thing that you guys have that understanding, like, yo, we just can't let the business get in between us. It's always going to be us.
Right. Well, for one, there's never no ups and downs. We never have that. Mm-hmm. We've never had arguments or anything.
Dope.
Like since we've known each other, right? Mm-hmm. And the difference between M.O.P. and a lot of these other guys, we're not a group. Mm. We just turned into a group. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? These guys, a lot, and I'm not speaking about the guys you mentioned, because I don't know everything about them,
the situation,
when it pertains to that. Mm-hmm. But you know, some guys go. You see somebody rapping on a train, you go, you know what, my friend could rap too. Maybe you guys could get together, mm-hmm. Or you know. So we're not a put together group. We're not. We didn't start out as a group and then move forward. We started out as a family, then turned into a group, still a family, which that's first, and then move forward with our career. So that's the difference between M.O.P. and a lot of other guys, and that's just who we are. Yeah. Like, it's always been about us. Like, let's make sure we're good. Like, us. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So even way before the music, it's just been us. Like I tell you, bro, we've been kicking it so long, we don't know where we met, how we met. So it's like the craziest shit, yo.
Yeah, it's probably literally like you guys were at the bodega or something, and somebody's like, yo, you got a light? You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. And that was it.
But yeah, and it actually had to happen somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. But here's the key, right? The key is, it was so long ago, we don't even remember.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So definitely not a put together group, brother.
Dope, man. So let's talk about what Billy Danze has going on now, man. Like I said, you were here last time. We had the 6-pack. We did a listening sessions of that and had great feedback. You just released some new work, right? What's the title of that?
Yeah. The re-listening session.
The re-listening sessions, all right.
That's right. So, I feel as if there's possibly some things that was missed on the listening session. Mm-hmm. So we remixed the entire thing. It has a whole nother feel. I don't know if you heard it, but it's an entire. But here was the key to that, right? Mm-hmm. Feel. So we added new beats, so you could understand the feel. Nothing changed. I did not redo no vocals. You understand? So it feels like a whole nother song. So this clearly shows me that sometimes people don't listen because they're not grabbed from certain angles, right? So that's why we rearranged the whole joint and just call it the re-listening session. And then I added 4 new records. One, I got my son La Boogie, my nephew Money Mark on the hook, and I got Tef doing the record. It's called Take It Personal. I got a joint called Employed with 2 young ladies, Precious Mariposa and what is this other young lady name? I forget it. It don't even come to my head right now, but she's amazing. Jeanette Forrester, sorry.
Okay.
Those two records are dope. And then I did a joint that I just put a video out. Well, the first joint I put the video out for, which is called Won't Lose, produced by my guy, Too Busy, which is an amazing joint. And then the second one I just put out is called The Chief.
Okay.
It's produced by a producer named Praise, who is ridiculous. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I just put out now. And I'm working on 2 more projects right now. No, 3 actually. And then I keep getting this request for an M.O.P. album. And I gotta be honest, like, we got way more music for than we need for a album. But like I said, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I am not turning over an M.O.P. album unless the fans actually get engaged like they're supposed to. So I'm doing my part. I need the fans to do their part. You want an M.O.P. album, you'll get it. At this point, I don't feel like you deserve it. And that's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? And that's being 100% real, because, like, dude, like, when I'm on that stage, right, I'm giving it my all. When I'm in that booth, I'm giving it my all. You know what I mean? I'm doing it. I'm not, okay, it may seem like I'm doing it for myself, but I'm actually not. I'm doing it for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, I need your energy in order to make me want to do it. So get engaged. If you deserve it, you got it. Hands down, I'm always here to deliver the opium, right? Because I don't want it to be no shortage. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to deliver, but I need somebody to feed the supply to.
There we go.
You know what I mean? If you're ready, I got it.
And we're in an era now where, I mean, to be honest, like you said, everybody's entitled musically to listen to music, because everybody has access to the world of music in their pocket now with the phones and everything, right? And everything's streaming. So you don't want to put out a great body of work just to get glossed over because 45,000 other people out there released the album that same day, and they'll never get to you may get half a listen, and that'll be it. You know
right. And that's really the problem, bro. All around this country, seem like around the world now, but definitely around this country, there's not even any fans left. So if when you put the records out, bro, and you see the comments is like, yo, he should have put this record out first, then did that, and then he could have signed a deal with such and such. After he did that, then he could, like, how do you know this?
Everybody's an A&R now too.
Right. If you're a fan, bro, just be a fan. So there's no way, and that's why you can't really sell records in America, because there's nobody to sell a record to.
Exactly. Yeah, because everybody's a critic. Everybody's an artist. Everybody's a critic.
Everybody's an artist and a critic. It's cool to be a critic, but good God, with the artists, how many artists? Jesus Christ, man, it's ridiculous.
So I want to touch on producers too, because I actually got a question from a listener too that I'll get to real quick. But before we do that, I noticed too this about you here recently. Not recently, but just in the span of your career, you love working with producers that everybody may not be familiar with. You know what I'm saying? And you get, and it seems like you get the best out of them, and they get the best out of you. Talk about that, man. What do you love about that, as far as out there recruiting producers and really, really getting the best out of them, and vice versa? What do you love about that process?
Well, this is about music. It's about dope music, right? Good music. We don't care. I don't care who makes the music, as long as it's dope. So I always want to do songs, or I always want to hear beats that you don't have to know who the person is to love it. So there's a lot of producers, man. So even with this, with the re-listening session, like all the producers, like we got producers from Germany, we got producers New York, we got producers, everywhere, bro. Switzerland, everywhere on this project. And I decided to pull together what we call the construction team, right? These are all fairly unknown. Most of them are unknown. And I call them a construction team, obviously, because they tore down and reconstructed a masterpiece and made it even, made it a little more greater. The guys that don't have the luxury to work with everybody, or have made so much money from working with a bunch of artists, they still have that passion for good music. You know what I mean? So, and the main thing, look, that's the long version of the answer, bro. The main thing is, I just want a dope beat. If you got a dope beat, I don't care where it comes from. If it's dope, I need it. Like, man, that record, The Chief is called, that I just put out. The beat to that is so ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, no, we're gonna play that.
Like, it's so ridiculous. And it made me rap, and that's what I need, right? Like, I want beats to make me rap. Like, I want the beat to pull me in and make me rap that way.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's too easy to rap that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want a little bit of a challenge, but I've been here long enough that I don't want to have to fight with the beat either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to make it easy. And these dudes got monstrous beats, bro. Alonzo Fibonacci is the name of one production crew that's a part of the construction crew, right? I mean, they redid the record that I did with Method Man, called Gotham.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They redid what is it? Don't Believe You.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? Cyrus. Which sounds like all movie scores.
Yeah.
Like, you close your eyes and listen to the re-listening session, it sounds like these records sound like a movie.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're listening to a movie.
Yeah.
That's what we want from these producers. If you're going to produce.
Yeah.
Stop playing. You know what I'm saying? So I take the beat from anybody, bro, as long as it's dope. If it's dope, I'm with it.
And you must be a psychic, because we got a listener who had a question. Shout out to Lewis Gray for submitting this one. You kind of touched on it, but we'll get into it a little bit better. And I'm going to reword part of it. It's a 2-part question.
Okay.
On the first part, he wanted to know on the classic records that what the people consider classic records, and even what you consider classic records, that chemistry that you had with that producer, was that an important thing? And do you remember if there was a common thread between all those records that you can point out with those records that we may consider classics?
You know what, bro? And me just being 100% honest, through the first 15 years of M.O.P. career, I was drunk, bro. So I was just having a good time, and like I said, it was something that in my head I was like, it's just something that we're doing different. So it was like, I was still all in shock. Like, dude, I'm in a room with Pete Rock. I'm in a room with DJ Premier.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in a room with these guys. First of all, they ain't even got no business knowing me.
Yeah,
they don't got no business knowing who I am. You know what I'm saying? So I think the chemistry of me being in that room with Fame and with our guys, and I could always go, we're doing something different, and I could turn and look at Premier and go, wow, and then turn and look at my family and go, we are actually doing something. Yeah. So I think the fans, their feeling or their connection to the record is what made it a classic. Dope. You know what I'm saying? I was just in there trying to win, baby. That's it.
I hear that. And part two of that question is, what do you like doing best when you make records? Do you like doing concept records or non-concept records?
I'm not going to turn this no other way. I'm just going to answer the question, right? I think concept records. That's crazy, because I've been thinking about that for the last few days. Like,
shout out to Lewis. Concept. Shout out to Lewis on that question.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy Lewis. All right. That's concepts, yeah. Because nobody's doing those. And that's really where I came from. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I like concept records because they give you something to, like, it's something in there that you can feel. I mean, there's something in, like, you know, just records without concepts, with just kind of the feeling and the beat or the flows and all of that. But the concepts is those records. See, I'm a weirdo. Like, everybody knows me for an artist and what you see and what you hear. But I'm the dude that, like, the bus ride to anywhere with the headphones on, like, I'm soaked in You know what I'm saying? So concept records and stuff like that. That's because we got a lot of that when we was growing up. So I missed those times.
Yeah, and you kind of hinted on it too when you said with the new project, it sounds like a movie score. Only a person who thinks conceptually can kind of point that out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Dope. Well, man, it's definitely dope talking with you, brother. And I got another one from your sis MJ Savina. We'll get to in a minute. She had a question that's kind of funny. But before we get into that, man, what else we got going on? I know you said there's plenty of work to come out. You know what I'm saying? You got some show dates that's about to drop. What else you want to knock out this year, man, that you may have that's on your target list right now?
Do it again. I'm a weirdo, man. So this conversation can open up something, right? Like I'm always thinking, my brain is always turning. So, and I got, you know what? I do have a project that I actually completed. I forgot to even mention. Don't know when I'm putting it out, but it's more about, it's like that Da Vinci Code. It's more like the Billy Danze Code kind of deal. And it's more about like how I see things. And I'm handing it to you, the fan, not so you don't have to see it how I see it, but I'm giving you why I see it this way. You know what I'm saying? So conceptual, of course. But yeah, and that, you know, I'm doing a lot of filming and stuff like that. Got a production team I have that we're doing a lot of filming, a lot of short films, documentaries and stuff like that. So we working, brother. We out here working for real. Like, I know people say they working, but we really out here.
And I noticed too on social media you brought up. I don't like. It's okay. Versus is cool for what it was when it first started to me. It's, as a hip hop fan, the way I listen to hip hop and grew up with hip hop, it's not giving me what I want with verses. But I noticed you made a comment like, are we talking about verses or are we talking about verses? And it was spelled differently.
Right.
And I think the way you brought it up is how I want it to be. I want it to be a verse for verse kind of, let's bar it out on stage and let's let the people really know what these records did. Why do people scared of M.O.P, man? Why we can't get an M.O.P versus somebody up there right now, man?
I don't think anybody's scared of M.O.P. I think people will do it, but I won't do it.
Okay.
It's something I'm not. Yeah, bro, I worked hard, man. I'm not about to put my legacy on the line for an hour for people's entertainment.
And see, that's how I see it, man.
Like somebody's.
Yeah.
Like somebody's got to come out with the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't. Whoever's on that stage with me, I definitely don't want it to be me, and I don't want it to be you either. We got to take care of our families with this. Like somebody's got to look at you and remember you for being great. Remember, this is something that's in a lot of people, right? They can remember. Like you could do all the good things in the world, like a tremendous amount of good things. But they only gonna remember that bad move that you made. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really willing to risk what I have or what I'm gonna be able to pass on to Tay later on down the pipe because somebody said, yo, you should do the verses. If you want to hear M.O.P versus somebody, grab your M.O.P album, grab that person's album and listen to it. That's the only way you're gonna get it.
That's what I say. That's what I say. As a hip hop head, I don't like what it's become. No. When it first came out, it was a cool idea because we was locked in the house. I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of dope. But I don't like I don't want to say the showmanship of it, but just the corporate stuff that's behind it. That kind of, they setting you up for some drama on a lot of it that I see, and I see a lot of it with the liquor and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. Anything
they're like I'm sorry, brother, but they're like promoters and agents, right? As the product, you are disposable. So they'll put you on the stage, you'll get your legacy destroyed. You can't get back on any other stage nowhere else around the world because your legacy is destroyed. But then they're going to bring somebody else and they're going to bring somebody else.
Exactly.
They're going to get all theirs. You'll never see their face.
Yep.
Because it don't matter. You know, they don't matter. You matter. And then when you don't matter, you don't matter to them. Yeah. So it's over for you.
Yeah, it's the new reality TV show. You know what I'm saying? And me and my wife talk about it all the time. I say, when you look at all of those shows, you always notice whenever the drama pops off, what's the common thing is they always pump them full of alcohol, and they take them somewhere isolated, they pump them full of alcohol, then they start filming. You know what I'm saying? So last time I checked, Versus was sponsored by Ciroc and all of that. So you know what I'm saying? But
and you know what? It's nobody's fault, bro. I take my hat off to Swiss. I take my hat off to Tim and everybody involved.
Absolutely.
But the people that's allowing, and I'm not talking about Versus, but like you mentioned, reality shows. If you allow these people to exploit you, remember they are going to exploit you. If you look at some of these networks, and I've had meetings with these networks about things. These networks won't even take shows or television programming without somebody being disrespected, without somebody being hurt, without somebody without the drama. They literally won't even take it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
But hats off to everybody who's done the Verses, and I appreciate it because I like to see it sometimes too. Yeah. It doesn't like I don't watch it, but it's like I'm not doing it myself. It's not gonna happen. I
hear you. Thank you, bro. Thank you for that. Because I'm like you, man. As I know you put in the work over the years, and as a fan, I've listened. As a fan, I hate seeing the people that I really like, going through all of that, and like you said, they made a mockery of it. They turned to a meme the next day. That's I just don't like that part of the culture. So, dope. MJ Savino sent the question, man. This is a funny one. So she says, last year you guys were doing some meetings over the phone and stuff like that, and had some important deadlines to meet. During these meetings, apparently she had some squirrels she had in the house that she had to try to catch. Her daughter had some of her friends for homeschooling, and there was a whole bunch of screaming going on. She said, what was going on in your mind when all of that was going on during these calls? Oh, it's so funny. He had to go away, man.
No. I'm here, bro. I'm here.
Okay. I thought you checked out. Yeah.
I touched the phone the wrong way. Yo, dude. You know what? I remember exactly what you're talking about, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" It was squirrels, and I'm like, "Is she trying to tell me what's going on?"
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Squirrel?" She's like over there fist fighting with the squirrel and shit. I'm like, it's funny.
It was like that episode of Martin with the dog. There ain't no pup. There ain't no damn puppy.
Because everything's cool, and then it just goes into an uproar. I'm like, is everything all right over there, MJ? Hey, should we call somebody? What's happening?
Exactly.
And they're fighting with the squirrel. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny that she wouldn't even ask that.
Yeah. Shout out to my sister MJ Savino, man. One of the hardest working people out there doing her thing for her clients, man. She is definitely a treasure and a jewel to hip hop, and just a great person overall, man. So shout out to her.
Like she's doing, she does what she's doing, right? Like she's doing what she's doing, right? There's some people. It's like, how did you do something that you're not really doing?
Yeah.
You ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Like when she's doing it, she's doing it. So definitely shout out to her, man. I appreciate her. Good lady.
Definitely.
Nice lady.
Definitely, man. Who you want to shout out before we get out of here, man? Who you want to shout out, man? I
gotta shout out my whole team, man. I gotta shout out Fame, Lays, Tef, Flip, Fox, the whole First family. M.O.P. Like, we still here, we still at it. Shout out to the fan, to the actual fan who has been with M.O.P. from day one, which we had converted into family. So there's no longer fans. We have family out there that we appreciate around the world. And like I said, I just spoke to Fame not so long ago. Actually, for the last 2 days, I've been talking to him. So we are definitely cooking up and get ready to get back on the road. So we'll see you guys soon. We appreciate that love and support always.
Definitely. How about we get a campaign to get M.O.P. in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too? That'll be a nice bump.
But I want like the real shit though. I want to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the right reasons. I don't want to be there because of the popularity doesn't do it. Like, nigga, we out here rocking for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So let's make you guys like the Triple Crowns. Let's put you in the Rock and Roll and the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. That'd be a nice little ring.
Dope.
You know what I'm saying? I would definitely look for that, man. Definitely,
Dope.
man. Billy Danze, brother, I appreciate your time as always, man. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for coming back. We're gonna play the Chief joint here in just a second.
Nice.
Doors always open. You know what I'm saying? Whenever the work is out there, I'll whenever I see something's going on, I'll reach out to yourself or MJ and bring you back on, and we'll let the fans listen to what you got going on, man. This is definitely home for you, music wise and anything else, man. Whatever you want to promote, come on back and let's do this again soon.
I appreciate you, family. Stay up, yeah.
Definitely. He is Billy Danze, M.O.P. member. He's a legend in the game, doing his thing still, man. The bar work is still there. The music is still there. We're going to give you guys the Chief, and we will be right back, all right? It's the Mixtape Show, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
The Mixtape Show?